Okay, it is Sunday, March 24th. I'm going to try to do sort of like weekly reading wrap-ups, see how that works. I'm still trying to figure things out. I don't know what I'm doing with this, so if you're seeing this video, thank you. I guess an update, what I've finished since the last time I recorded anything. I read The Marble Queen by Anna Kopp, which is this. I got it from my library, and this literally just came out. I was very excited to read it. It's very shiny. I was very excited. It's a brand new release, so I think I was like super early in requesting it from my library, so I got it almost immediately as soon as they got it in. Highly disappointed. Like, this is highly disappointing. It sounded interesting. It's Princess Amelia. Her kingdom is being ravaged by pirates, and feels like the only way that they can be helped out and gain money is with the trade. This is Amelia, is with having Amelia marry the princess of this other kingdom, Iliad. And Amelia thinks she's going to marry the prince, but it turns out to be the princess, and you know, big deal. But then they get over it. Amelia is a character who deals with anxiety, and that is actually depicted really neatly in the book. Like, this is really great. So I think the visual art, like the visual depiction of her anxiety, was really well done. That's the only real good thing I can say about the art, unfortunately, and that's where my big issue is. So the story, this ends up being a romantasy, which is not my thing. The romance is at the forefront of this. The world building is okay. Every other character that isn't these two main characters are just so lightly sketched. Like, both of them have brothers who are both happy-go-lucky and love their sister, and like, other than the fact that her brother is brown and her brother is pale, they would be the same character. Like, it feels like no real deep thought was given to the world building for both of their kingdoms. There are characters that come in and disappear. It's hard to tell characters apart other than some of their styling in the art, I guess. But then the art is where this completely fell apart for me. Like, you see this cover? That's beautiful, and the cover is really what drew me. But the art is just, it just feels so unpolished. It doesn't feel finished. Like, that is kind of beautiful, but then if you look at the rest of it, there's no background. Like, these characters are sitting in a void. Like, and this, it's okay. Like, it just feels so amateur. It feels so school. I don't know how to say it. Like, what is this? They're having a conversation, but like, they're in a void. There's nothing happening here. And even when you do get background and art, that's so simple. Like, what is that? There's nothing. What is this? It was just highly disappointing. Even when there are multiple characters, there's supposed to be a ball here that's happening, and it's just, let me find a page. Like, ugh, they're getting married and that's what you're doing? That I was so disappointed. It's just, and a lot of, because there is no background, they're in a void. There's so many of this, like, action indicators. This says dash. This says sleepy. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't. It was just disappointing. That's all I can say about it. I gave it 1.5 because I don't know what else good to say about it, unfortunately. So probably one of my biggest disappointments of the year so far. All right, next thing I finished was Malice by Keigo Higashino. This is a Japanese mystery author who is widely read in Japan. I think I've read him before. I remember reading The Devotion of Suspect X a very long time ago. And what I liked about this book, and I think what I liked about Devotion of Suspect X is what I understand of Higashino is that he doesn't care as much about the how as much as he cares about the why. To him, and this is especially at the forefront in Malice, is the motive is the important part in Malice. We learn very early on who did it. Like, that's not a question about, it's who did it. But the main character, the detective character, the whole story is him unraveling why and following these threads and these paths that where, like, just following all these paths where he's being led down, you know, kind of red herring paths, until he slowly unravels the motive of the character. And I really enjoyed that journey. It was really interesting to see a mystery unravel or be unraveled in terms of the motive versus like trying to figure out who did it and why and how. And we do get a why and like a how as things progress. But I found it so fascinating. There are parts of it where I don't know that we needed as much as we did, especially the section with all the interviews. That was really, I mean, I had a little fun with that, like, because it did sort of like piece together little pieces of the puzzle in terms of the motive. But I don't know that that much was needed. The only downside for me with this, which is really unfortunate, is that I read it on audio, and the audiobook narrator was so American. And like, I understand that not that when you're reading in other languages, you read comfortably, but I feel like if you're going to read a book that is translated from another language and includes the original Japanese names, you need to learn how to pronounce Japanese syllables, not just read the names in American syllables. Like, I'm sorry, like, I will die on this hill. Like, I think one of the characters, or not one of the characters, but like there was a name that was used regularly, and that name is Hatsuo. In Japanese, each syllable has a very specific pronunciation, and TSU is a syllable of itself. You don't separate the T and the S when you're doing something. So it's Hatsuo. It's not Hatsuo. It's a subtle difference, but it kept like hitting my ear, and it just started driving me crazy. And it's just, it's like one of the main characters is called Nonaguchi, and the guy like would times say Nonaguchi, Gucci, like no, gu, like ooh, it's ooh. It just drove me insane, especially as like someone who is a quarter Japanese, and I took Japanese as my language in college. Like, I don't remember much of it. I don't remember, you know, vocabulary is gone, but I still remember the pronunciations. I remember my syllables, and it drove me insane. Like, which was unfortunate because I really enjoyed the story otherwise. So, 4 stars for the story, 2.5 for the audiobook itself, the production of the audiobook, the narrator. But, you know, essentially, basically a 4-star. It was a great story. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed this type of detective story that Higashino was writing. Okay, so I guess now I will go through what I'm currently reading. I've been in a very weird kind of slump, but not, and maybe it's just that I don't know. I'm a huge mood reader. Maybe it's just that I don't know what I want to read right now, so I am currently in the middle of a whole crap load of stuff. So the first thing is actually this short story collection called Terraform, Watch Worlds Burn. It's all sci-fi speculative short stories, and I tab all the stories so that I know like how much time I have with each story and how many I have left. I have not read that much, as you can see. I move the tab to here when I read a story. So far they're pretty good. They're good for short bursts when I want to read something but I'm not sure what I want to read. So I feel like this is going to take me at least through the summer because I'm not reading it very quickly, and it's not like the first thing I pick up, but you know, that is in my currently reading. What else am I currently reading? I am reading an arc of Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. I have been reading it for about a month now, and I think I'm just going to have to DNF it at this point. I just don't care. It's boring. I don't care about the setup. I don't care about the characters. Actually, no, I hate the characters. I hate most of the characters, and I think part of it is that this setup is made in a way for the characters to have a lot of friction, and that friction is annoying me, and not in a good, like, intentional way. I just don't like how it's being written. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to DNF it, which I don't like doing with arcs, but I cannot bring myself to pick it up again. What else? I started The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. This is one of the books that I've had for, I don't know, like, since it came out, essentially. The year it came out, I bought it. So I'm trying to get through it. I am 130 pages in, 12 chapters in, and I think it's okay. It has felt pretty slow for me. So I think this is one where how I'm feeling about it now is mostly mood. So I'm probably going to put it down and then try to come back to it in a month or two and see how I feel. If I'm not feeling it, then I will officially DNF it, but this is going to kind of go on pause, I think. What else? Oh, I am reading The Thursday Murder Club, and this is actually a joy at the moment. I am having so much fun with this. I have had the book for about a year or two, but I waited for the audio to come through from my library. It took like 6 months, but I waited for the audio because I've heard the audio is really good, and the audio helps with processing the British humor of it all, and I can see why people say that. This is so fun. I am 40% through. I'm like keeping track in the book with the audio. It's a lot of fun. I just got to a second death that I did not expect. So, good on that. Good on Richard Osman for keeping me on my toes. But it's fun. I'm liking all the characters. I'm liking all the little tidbits. I'm liking the building of these characters and their little retirement village and stuff like that. It's actually very sweet in some ways. And I'm just really curious to see. I feel like, for me, the murder mystery part of it is not the strongest part. The strongest part is the Thursday Murder Club and figuring and seeing them interact with each other and the world around them and how the other characters take them in. So this is very character driven, and it has multiple POVs, but I'm enjoying it so much, and I hear it only gets better. So I'm super, super down for this series, and I know the rest of the books on audio are probably going to be just as a long wait to get. But I already bought book 2. So I think I already have the audiobook narrator, the way she has created these characters in my head. So I think reading it in text for the rest of the series is going to be totally fine. But yeah, so much fun. This, I think, is single-handedly keeping me from going into a proper reading slump. So yay. And the last thing that I'm in the middle of, I started on a whim, is The Name of All Things by Jenn Lyons. This is book 2 in the Chorus of a Dragon series. I finished book 1 last year, and Jenn Lyons bamboozled me. I was confused. I was shocked. I was just baffled. But in a good way. Just fucking confused in a good way. And I am really enjoying the storytelling, the play, the way Jenn Lyons plays with storytelling in service of telling her story is really fun. I am 76 pages in, 4 chapters in. Oh, this is my bookmark. It's a Lord of the Rings page. So I'm enjoying this. It's nice and floppy, and it's just big. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm just really happy that I am enjoying this as much as I am. And between this and Thursday Murder Club, I think the reading slump has been head off at the pass. So what am I reading coming up? No idea. I have a bunch of manga and comics that I have out from the library that I probably need to get through, so I probably will do those. So probably in my next weekly reading wrap up, I'll have a whole bunch of those to talk about. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Still don't know what I'm doing with this, but we'll figure it out. Ciao.